My name is Levison Wood. I've deployed all around the world, first with the British Army, but also on my own expeditions in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, South Sudan and all the way across the Himalayas. I'm at the Department for International Development, where British humanitarian professionals work and train before they deploy all the way around the world. DFID works with NGOs and charities to provide humanitarian assistance across the globe. Last year alone, they worked in 32 different countries, helping to bring aid to 17 million people worldwide. So I've been in my own fair share of sticky situations around the world, and I know that packing the right kit and equipment can mean the difference between life and death. I'm going to go through one of the grab bags that a team member would be likely to use, and this belongs to Jack. As you can see, it's a smaller day sack. This would be used, carried everywhere. But basically this is in the case of an emergency situation or an evacuation, this is all the essential stuff that you might need in that situation. So let's have a look what's inside. Here we've got a sticker that says no weapons, presumably just to prove that he's not carrying any weapons himself. But actually this is really handy, you know, if Jack's going to be travelling in a vehicle that perhaps isn't his own, this can go on the dashboard in the window just to reassure local police, militia, whoever else that he's not actually carrying any weapons himself and actually is who he says he is, and you know, working to deliver aid and therefore is not associated with the military. Okay, we've got you know, a doorstop here, which you know, is actually quite useful. I found myself that you know, you might be in any sort of accommodation, ranging from, you know, a tent to the floor of a building, something that might be abandoned, you know, a creaky door, something that blows open with a gust of wind. Why not carry a doorstop just to make it a bit easier? And this is also quite handy. You know, you can actually put that behind the door just to stop any potentially unwelcome visitors in the dead of night. So there we go. A banana case. I've not seen one of these before, but I've heard about them. Basically, you put your banana in there. There you go. So I'm going to ask Jack a few questions about what he's got in his kit, and he's going to explain a few of the details. So, we have Jack.
Lev, hi, how are you?
How you doing?
Good.
You've got an interesting setup here. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you think so.
No, it's great. I mean, what would you say are, you know, some of the more important things that you've got here, and is there anything else that you might carry in addition to this, perhaps, you know, on your person?
Yeah.
Or?
I mean, what this is all about, Lev, the essential point here is that we can deploy to the field anywhere in the world, in any situation, and be, A, entirely self-sufficient, so that we're not depending or taking resources away from anybody else on the ground, and also so that we can live and work at full speed. So right from the word go, live entirely self-sufficiently and effectively run a running and jumping and a reading and writing response from the field for the UK government. Right. So it's about being able to do that, and there are various personal items which make all that more bearable and more feasible. I've got my real wallet in one pocket, and some of the situations we go to, there may be a conflict, there may be crime, so there is a risk of mugging. So it's quite a good idea to have a giveaway wallet ready to give up. Make it look real. It's got to look the part. It's got to look the part. Put a high value note on top and lower value ones underneath. So with any luck, that will be quite convincing. So there we go. Yeah, no, really important stuff. So what about some of the other things? I mean, I've noticed you've got some quite interesting things. In a pod of your med kit, you've got these things. Would you want to explain what they're for? Well, these are tampons. The short answer to that is they're useful for staunching penetration wounds. They're useful for stemming blood flow. So if something does happen, an accident, or, you know, heaven forbid, you might be shot or stabbed, then as part of the first aid kit, these things can be pretty useful. Right, okay. And what about some of the other things? Do you want to talk me through? So you've got your scarf, Norwegian flag? Again, we've been talking about conflict and security and you know, getting caught up in something unpleasant. We're proud to be representing the British government, and in almost every natural disaster, non-conflict situation, you know, we're UK aid, and that's great. But we do sometimes go to some difficult and dangerous places. You know, one thinks of South Sudan, one thinks of Libya. you know, other places where we might want to just be a little bit more low-key as to our national identity.
Right, I got it.
And sometimes it's good to be a nice, neutral Norwegian.
Okay, so you're sort of, yes.
Just superficially, but it may be all you need.
Well, it's just one glance, isn't it? That's all it takes at times, and people sort of wave you through.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Okay, fantastic.
And I like the Norwegian flag.
Perfect. The mirror, speaking of modesty?
Well, you know, it takes a lot of effort to look this good.
Absolutely.
But the point about that is it can be used as a signalling device.
Absolutely. So survival,
you know, if you get lost up a mountain or in a hostile desert somewhere, you know, this is very useful for attracting notice and we hope rescue.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good save there.
Yeah. So I don't use it to put my makeup on.
And some of the bits. So the doorstop you mentioned. You know, this. I mean, why would you be carrying a doorstop?
You're in a strange room, maybe a hotel, it may be, you know, any building in a strange situation. Again, bearing in mind the possibility of people trying to come in and be unfriendly toward you, as well as propping doors open. This is a great way to prop doors shut.
If there's no lock on it.
If there's no lock or if the lock is faulty. So it's a good way to inhibit entry.
Right.
Just shove that under the door, you know, at night. And it does slow entry at least. Yeah,
really good idea. It gives you that extra couple of seconds that you might need to jump out of bed and climb out of the window.
That's right.
And the harmonica here is you?
Well, that's just to amuse.
You a musician?
That's just to amuse myself and entertain my colleagues.
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. So we've talked a lot about what individuals in the rapid response teams might take out, but also, of course, the main job of being out there is to help other people. Yeah. So, you know, maybe you can talk to us a bit about the kind of things that you might take out in order to assist the communities that you're there to meet. What's this? This jerry can, obviously.
This is a jerry can.
So what's special about this jerry can? You know, I've encountered a lot of jerry cans in my time, but this one, not only is it yellow, but it seems to have a few fancy bits on it.
This is its own inbuilt filtration system. Okay. So this filters the water as it goes in, purifies it. It's ready to drink from the jerry can.
Oh wow! So you can literally just pump that up, and the water will come out that side.
And it's ready to go. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's a good piece of kit.
And there's another smaller one here.
Yeah, smaller one. You know, it's all about
5 litres.
Yeah, that's right. It's about versatility. It's what we can get into sometimes quite difficult areas.
Yep.
So we have the flexibility there to deliver various ways of providing clean water.
So these are being used around the world?
We've used these around the world. One of the most dramatic examples was Mount Sinjar
in northern Iraq.
In northern Iraq a couple of years ago, where the Yazidi people were in that terrible situation on top of a very hot, dry mountain.
Surrounded by ISIS.
Water was absolutely essential. We were able to drop this in cooperation with the RAF. They've also been used in the Ebola response, the Nepal earthquake, the Philippines cyclone, numerous humanitarian situations.
Let's go for this one first. What's special about this light?
This is a solar light. Again, I mean, that really speaks for itself.
Yeah.
People like these a lot because you know, you've been hit by a devastating cyclone, or you're in some ghastly conflict situation.
You've got no
power, no electricity. You know, morale is low. Your spirits are low. But at least if you can have some light, then you know that makes life that much better. It'll also charge your mobile phone. I've seen a lot of these used. There was a cyclone in Orissa in India a few years ago. We distributed quite a few of these in some very remote, very poor villages devastated by the cyclone, and the people
you can
were
plug your phone into this.
You can.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and the people in the villages loved this piece of kit.
Right. Yeah, I can see there's the little adapter jack there. You can plug it in and get signal if you've got mobile signal. That is.
Yes.
Right. So we've got this bucket here. In fact, there's 2 buckets.
Yeah. This is probably a bit more sophisticated than it looks. This is everything that you might need, male or female.
Yeah.
Important to bear that in mind. To keep clean, to have your shower after the devastation of a cyclone or an earthquake. And in a lot of the countries where we operate, a sarong to wear from your hut or your tent to the shower and back is very useful. Essentially, this is a hygiene kit, again, for men and for women. One of the really difficult things for women is personal hygiene. These things are reusable sanitary towels, incredibly useful. And then other things such as soap.
And would this be for a whole family or an individual?
This is for a family or more than one family. We have lots of these. another sarong, which I guess you can also use that as a towel. And the multiple containers here enable the user to use clean water, to swill away the dirty water, to refill, and so on and so on and so forth.
One for clean water,
that's right.
One for dirty water.
That's right. So although this is quite basic, it's very, very useful.
Right. Okay, so these are drinking water vessels. I mean, you can literally go down to the the water site, pick it up, take it to your family. Right, great.
So they're simple, they're robust, you know, they will stand up to a lot of rough treatment. They're very, very useful.
So finally, we've got this, which is, I guess, this is the aid box, and a blanket, always useful.
Yep. We've talked about water, we've talked about sanitation.
Yep.
You need to keep warm.
Warmth. And this, I mean, the great thing about all of this is it's compact, it's robust, it's solid.
Right. That's
so
right.
this stuff can literally be parachuted out of aeroplanes.
It can indeed. Yeah.
So well, this is like a kitchen.
Water, sanitation, shelter. You need to eat. You've lost all your cooking utensils, your kitchen is destroyed. This is a basic cooking kit with all the usual items, pots, pans, knives, spoons. This is enable people and families to cook and eat.
All very simple as well, isn't it? You know, this is
very basic stuff.
Good high quality
stackable, as you say, convenient. Box.
So this is useful for the whole family.
Easy to deliver.
And it's even got, you know, you've got the basics of a bit of cutlery, wooden spoon. Similar to yours, actually. And even some scouring pads for cleaning at the end.
So you've got water, you've got shelter, you've got light, and you're able to cook and clean up afterwards.
So this really is ultimately all the stuff that's really needed in the aftermath of a disaster or an emergency.
It's very basic, Lev, but it's the essentials of life. So we've been looking at water, sanitation, shelter, and cooking. And this is the stuff that we can get onto the ground very quickly, very robust delivery methods, and they represent really good value for money.
And this is where British taxpayers' money is going to impart, isn't it?
It is.
And I think, you know, the British, you know, UK aid has got a really good reputation around the world.
It has.
And I guess we must be some of the best in the world at what we do.
We are one of the best in the world, and I think what we've been talking about today is how we get boots and brains on the ground very quickly, and how we deliver funding, supplies, and humanitarian expertise in a way which is really quite unrivaled. And other operators do look to DFID as something of the gold standard in that respect.
Well, I think
we're very proud of that.
I think you're a real inspiration. I think the work you do is fantastic. So thank you very much, Jack.
My pleasure.
Thank you.